All right, listen. When we talk about how the female brain works, most people start on some science talk, left brain, right brain, logic versus emotion. But see, that's where they already get lost. Because what you call emotion, that's really her power. A woman don't think in straight lines. She feels in waves. She don't need a full map to know where something's headed. She feels the energy shift before the facts even show up. That's not emotion over logic. That's a deeper kind of logic that most people too distracted to recognize. See, a woman's mind ain't built for war, it's built for understanding. While a man might try to control the situation, she's reading the vibration of it. She peeps your tone, your silence, your body language, all before you even open your mouth. She's decoding you, not your words. That's why a woman will tell you something don't feel right, and later she's right. You can call it emotional, but that's divine data. That's her system, her design. A woman's intelligence moves through empathy. She can step inside somebody's pain and still see the light in it. That's how she heals. That's how she reasons. She don't just calculate outcomes. She calculates emotions. She knows the cost of peace before you start the fight. That's why her decisions might seem slower, but they last longer because she's not reacting. She's feeling her way through the storm. You ever notice how a woman can hold space for 10 things at once? She thinking about her people, her dreams, her pain, her peace, all at the same time. That's emotional multitasking. She don't just think with her mind, she thinks with her memory, her intuition, her experience. Every time she forgave, every time she stayed silent when she could have exploded, that all built her emotional code. She remembers not just what happened, but how it felt. And when she loves, she don't love halfway. She loves from all that memory. That's not confusion, that's depth. And that depth can scare people who only live on the surface. Because when you meet a woman who feels everything, you can't hide behind your words. You can't fake energy. She'll know if your spirit ain't clean, even if your talk's smooth. That's why some men say women are complicated. But really, they just can't match that frequency. She's not complicated, she's comprehensive. She sees too much, feels too much, understands too much, all at once. The female brain moves like water, adaptable, flowing, powerful enough to shape stone over time. Logic moves in straight lines, but life don't. Life bends, breaks, rebuilds. Emotion is how she navigates all that. That's why when a woman's connected to emotion, she's unstoppable. She can take pain, turn it into art, take betrayal, turn it into wisdom, take heartbreak, turn it into self-worth. Her emotion is alchemy. She transforms energy that most people would drown in. You can't call that weakness. That's creation itself. Every idea, every life, every movement that ever shifted the world started with emotion, passion, care, anger, love. And women, they carry that source in them naturally. That's why when a woman feels safe, the whole environment levels up. She'll bring balance to chaos just through presence. But when she's hurt, when she's doubted, when she's silenced, that energy gets cold. And that's dangerous because the same heart that could heal the world can also freeze it. So understanding how the female brain works ain't about studying her like a textbook. It's about respecting that she's built different. You don't control her emotions, you honor them because her emotions are data. They tell you what's real. When she's distant, it's not random. When she's quiet, it's not weakness. She's processing. She's weighing energy. She's choosing whether to continue giving her light to something that's not feeding her soul. Most people chase logic because it feels safer. Logic got steps, plans, answers. Emotion got risk. Emotion means surrender. But that's the exact reason women evolve faster spiritually. They live in that surrender every day. They trust what they feel even when it don't make sense. They move by faith in their own intuition. And that's a level of intelligence that can't be measured by tests or titles. That's divine instinct. So when you really see how women think, you start calling it emotional, you start calling it evolved, you start realizing that feeling deeply is a form of knowing. And that's something the world been sleeping on. A woman's emotion ain't a weakness to fix. It's a frequency to learn from. Because logic can build a plan, but emotion builds connection. And connection, that's what keeps this whole thing alive. That's the real balance when logic and emotion move together. When we stop labeling one as strength and the other as softness and start understanding that both are power. But the woman, she been carrying that balance naturally. She been feeling what the world's trying to think about. That's not emotion over logic. That's evolution through emotion. That's intelligence on a whole different wavelength. See, there's something powerful about how a woman moves when she trusts her gut. She don't need all the facts lined up. She just knows. That's what you call intuition, that inner signal that don't come from her head. It come from her soul. It's like a built-in compass that point her toward truth, even when her mind's still figuring it out. And people who don't understand that kind of knowing, they call it luck, coincidence, or emotion. But that ain't luck. That's alignment. That's spiritual Wi-Fi. She tuned into frequencies that logic can't even catch. A woman's intuition ain't loud, it's quiet, but precise. It whispers, not shouts. You ever seen how a woman sends something off before it even happens? She'll tell you something don't feel right. In hours, days, maybe weeks later, it all shows up exactly like she said. That's not magic, that's mastery. That's thousands of years of energy awareness passed down through generations. Her intuition is survival and sensitivity woven together. And that's why you can't lie to a woman who's in tune with herself. You can say all the right words, you can smile, you can play calm, but your energy gonna tell on you. She reads your silence like a paragraph. She feels the vibration behind your tone. You can't fake frequency. That's what most people don't get. You can play games with logic, but energy don't play. And she's fluent in energy. Intuition is her way of reading between the lines of reality. While most people watching what's happening, she's watching what's missing. While you focused on words, she's studying pauses. That's why she'll catch betrayal before it's exposed. That's why she'll sense opportunity before it arrives. Her brain don't just analyze, it feels patterns. It picks up on repetition, rhythm, inconsistency, all that. It's like a radar built out of emotion, experience, and spirit. You ever wonder why mothers can wake up in the middle of the night, seconds before their child cries? That's intuition in motion. Or how a woman knows when the energy in a room just shifted, even if no one said a word. That's intuition speaking loud and clear. It's that deep sense of awareness, not from overthinking, but from overfeeling. It's sensitivity turned into wisdom. But see, the world don't teach people to trust that. Society train everybody to worship logic, structure, numbers, but intuition, that's soul language. You can't measure it, can't explain it, can't fit it into a chart. You gotta feel it. And women been fluent in that forever. They just get told not to listen to it. But when she finally learns to honor that inner voice, that's when she steps into her power. Because intuition is truth before evidence. It's clarity before confirmation. That's why when a woman moves from intuition, she moves different. She's not reacting to what she sees. She's responding to what she knows. She can sense who's for her and who's using her. She can walk away from what looks good but don't feel right. That's discipline built from divine instinct. When she ignores it, life shows her lessons. But when she follows it, life starts moving smoother. Doors open, stress fades, peace shows up. That's what happens when energy and intention line up. And real ones respect that energy. Because intuition is the ultimate protection. It don't just guide her, it shields her. It keeps her out of wrong places, wrong people, wrong timing. It's that voice that say, leave now. And if you don't, you end up wishing you did. And deep down, she already knew. That's the crazy part. She always knew. You can't teach intuition. You can only trust it. And when a woman really learns to do that, she becomes unstoppable. Because now she's not second guessing herself, not seeking validation, not chasing proof. She knows her knowing, and that's peace, that's power. That's the kind of strength that don't come from muscles or titles. It comes from alignment with spirit. See, the female mind don't move off random emotion. It moves off energetic intelligence. She might not explain how she knows, but she'll feel it. And that feeling be the truth long before the facts catch up. That's why the smartest thing a man can do is respect that. Respect the knowing that can't be explained. Because when a woman's intuition speaks, she's hearing the world before it talks. That inner sense is her sixth sense. Beyond sight, sound, taste, touch, and logic is her connection to the unseen. That's where her strength hides, in silence, in stillness, in signals nobody else catches. The world runs on patterns, and she can feel those patterns shift before they even show up on the surface. That's what keeps her ahead. That's what makes her dangerous in the best way, because she's guided, not just guessing. So don't mistake her quiet for confusion. I don't think her calm means she don't see. She sees everything. She just don't speak on it till time proves her right. That's her intuition. A sixth sense tuned to the truth, steady leading her toward peace, purpose, and power. See, a woman's mind don't move off ego the way the world try to make it seem. She don't wake up thinking who she got to outshine. She thinking who she can align with. Her nature is rooted in connection, not competition. She don't build empires by stepping over people. She builds by bringing people together. That's a whole different type of power. It's not about proving something, it's about improving something. You got to understand, when a woman really operating from her essence, she's not chasing validation. She's chasing alignment. Her spirit don't thrive in chaos. It grows in connection. She reads energy like a map, and she knows that competition breeds separation, and separation kills flow. So she'd rather create circles, not hierarchies. She knows unity multiplies what ego divides. You ever notice how a woman will check on everybody before she checks on herself? That's connection, how she'll carry the emotional weight of a whole group and still keep moving forward. That's leadership through love. That's her instinct to nurture, to heal, to build bridges where others build walls. And don't get it twisted. That ain't weakness. That's wisdom. Because she knows you don't win by standing alone. You win by standing together. Most people still don't get that type of thinking. They think competition means power. But a woman with real awareness knows competition is scarcity energy. It comes from fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being replaced. But connection comes from abundance. It says we can all shine. It says your light don't dim mine. That's why she don't move like the world tells her to. She moves like nature, cooperative, flowing, growing, evolving. See, the female brain is wired to find balance, not to dominate. She don't need to be the loudest in the room to hold presence. Her power is quiet, but undeniable. When she speaks, people feel it. When she listens, people heal. She don't just hear you, she understands you. That's emotional intelligence at work, turning empathy into connection and connection into transformation. And when she builds with others, she builds off love and loyalty. She's not looking at what you got, she's looking at who you are. That's how she reasons through energy exchange, not ego exchange. She can sense when somebody's spirit don't match their words. And when she finds real energy, she pours into it fully. That's how she creates growth around her, by watering people instead of competing with them. The world taught women to compare, to look at each other like rivals instead of reflections. But when a woman unlearns that, she becomes unstoppable. Because now she's no longer fighting for attention. She's creating impact. She's no longer proving her worth. She's embodying it. That's connection over competition. That's higher level thinking. That's divine awareness in motion. And that kind of mindset changes everything around her. When she walks into a room, she don't bring pressure. She brings peace. She don't drain energy. She circulates it. She makes people feel seen, not small. That's her strength. She elevates the space she's in. And when women move like that together, that's how movements start. That's how communities shift. That's how the world heals. It's crazy, though, how society tries to turn that gift into a weakness. They tell her to be more competitive, to play the game, but she was never meant to play small games. She was meant to rewrite the whole system. Her nature ain't to divide, it's to unify. She's not trying to beat you. She's trying to build with you. That's how she reasons. That's how she leads, not from dominance, but from understanding. And that's what people mistake. They see her compassion and think it's softness. But connection takes strength. It takes emotional control to not get caught in envy. It takes vision to see someone else winning and still clap with pure intention. It takes courage to love openly in a world that profits off competition. That's power disguised as peace. When a woman really taps into that, she starts attracting what's for her. But her energy shifts. She's not chasing, she's creating. She's not comparing, she's collaborating. Every connection she makes starts to feel purposeful. Every interaction becomes alignment. And the more she connects, the more her life expands, not through control, but through flow. That's the truth people overlook. Connection is a higher frequency than competition. Competition might get you attention, but connection builds legacy. You can fight to stand out, or you can build something that stands forever. And women, they've been knowing that. They just needed to remember. Because when they stand together, when they move as one, there's no system, no standard, no struggle that can stop that. So yeah, connection over competition. That's not just a mindset, that's a movement. That's how wealth wins. That's how growth happens. That's how she turns her empathy into elevation. She don't need to be above anybody. She just needs to be aligned. And when she's aligned, she rises naturally. Because energy like that don't chase, it attracts. It don't compete. it creates. A life got a funny way of testing who can bend without breaking, and that's what a woman's real strength shows. She don't just survive change, she adapts to it like water taking the shape of whatever it's poured into. But she don't lose herself in the process. She still remains. That's her gift. She adjusts without forgetting who she is. See, adaptability ain't weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that everything don't need to be fought, some things need to be flowed through. And a woman mastered that art long before anybody gave it a name. Her mind got this rhythm and don't panic when things shift. She observes, feels, processes, and then she moves. It's like she's wired to survive emotional storms without losing her direction. She's learned that pain don't destroy her, it shapes her. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every disappointment becomes a lesson coded deep in her emotional memory. She don't just remember what happened, she remembers how it made her feel. And that memory becomes her blueprint for what to accept, what to release, and what to never allow again. See, a woman's memory ain't just mental, it's emotional. She carries experiences in her spirit. That's why she can recall details that seem small to everyone else. She remembers the tone, the energy, the silence between words. Because to her, those moments were data, emotional evidence. She learns people through patterns. You might forget what you said, but she remembers how it made her feel. And that's how she reasons next time. That's not being sensitive, that's being self-aware. Adaptability means she can take that memory and transform it. She don't stay stuck replaying pain, she studies it. She extracts wisdom from it. That's emotional evolution. You might see her fall apart, but what you don't see is how she rebuilds stronger, wiser, calmer. That's her power. She can go through something that should have broken her and come out more grounded than before. Because every experience, no matter how heavy, becomes part of her emotional armor. When life hits her with change, she don't freeze. She shifts. That's why she can juggle 10 things at once. Pain, pressure, purpose, people, and still keep her spirit intact. She adapts like nature does, quietly, consistently, beautifully. She don't resist the season, she learns from it. She knows everything has its time, the growing, the grieving, the healing, and she honors each stage without losing hope for the next one. That's emotional intelligence on a level most don't even recognize. And that emotional memory is deep, it's generational. The things her mother endured, the lessons her grandmother learned, all that gets carried through her. She's the product of every woman who had to stay strong, stay soft, and stay standing at the same time. That's why her adaptability ain't just personal, it's ancestral. She adjusts not only for herself, but for the lineage that walks through her. You ever notice how a woman can forgive you but never forget? That's emotional memory at work. She can move on, but she won't move backward. She keeps a quiet record inside her of what energy felt safe and what didn't. It's not bitterness, it's awareness. She's learned that her peace is worth more than her pride. So she adapts her boundaries. She don't build walls, she builds filters. Only what aligns with her peace gets through. And that's the difference. She don't use her emotional memory to stay bitter. She uses it to stay better. She evolves her habits, her circle, her mindset. She understands that growth means releasing what no longer fits the version she's becoming. That's adaptability with intention. That's emotional maturity disguised as silence. Even when she's tired, she keeps moving, not out of desperation, but out of faith that she's being guided somewhere better. She learned that everything temporary is a teacher and everything permanent is a choice. That's why she can lose people and still not lose herself. She's adaptable because she's anchored in what she's learned through every emotion she's ever felt. And that kind of strength don't show off. It don't talk loud, it just endures. That's why she can walk through heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, and still smile like she never lost faith. Because deep down, she knows she didn't. Every emotion she ever survived became a seed for something new. That's why when she steps forward, she moves wiser, lighter, freer. So yeah, adaptability and emotional memory, that's her magic. She remembers, but she don't remain. She bends, but she don't break. She grows through what she goes through. And every time life tries to test her, she just transforms again. She's living proof that you can hold the past without being held by it. That's the kind of resilience that don't fade, it gets refined. Most people only see what's right in front of them. They judge life by what's visible, what's obvious, what's loud. But a woman, she got a different kind of vision. She sees beneath it, beyond it, around it. She don't just look with her eyes, she looks with her spirit. She reads energy before action, intention before words. That's what make her reasoning so different. She ain't reacting to what's happening, she's responding to what's real. A woman's mind is layered. She can see the beauty in something broken, the lesson in something painful, the truth behind something disguised. That's not guessing. That's perception built from awareness. She don't just see what you show her, she feels what you hide. That's why you can't fake depth around her. She'll pick up on what you thought you buried. Her intuition and her vision work together. One senses, the other interprets. That's the kind of intelligence the world's still trying to measure. She's trained by experience to look beyond the surface. Life taught her that not everything good comes wrapped in gold, and not everything hard is meant to hurt her. Sometimes blessings come dressed like battles. And because she's seen both love and loss, both loyalty and lies, her eyes learn how to read patterns, not just people, but situations, cycles, energy shifts. She studies how things move, not just how they look. That's how she protects her peace. See, when a woman really starts seeing beyond the surface, she stops wasting time trying to fix everything she feels. She starts understanding that some people ain't broken, they just not aligned. Some situations ain't meant to change, they're meant to teach. She becomes selective with her energy. That's not coldness, that's clarity. She knows her vision too sacred to be clouded by what's temporary. That's why she don't chase illusions anymore. She don't get caught in surface validation, the likes, the words, the compliments. She looking for consistency, for intention, for energy that feel like truth. She's learned to see past appearance into essence. That's maturity when she realizes peace look quieter than attention, love feel calmer than passion, and success don't always need an audience. And you can't fool a woman with that kind of sight. You can't show her a picture of potential and expect her to buy in. She's seen enough to know that potential without discipline is a distraction. She's learned that actions paint clearer pictures than words. So now she don't listen to what people say. She listens to what they show repeatedly. That's seeing beyond the surface. That's how she stays grounded in truth when the world running on illusion. What's wild is her vision don't just expose what's fake. It also reveals what's possible. She sees the future and sees, not results. You might see a small beginning. She sees a masterpiece in progress. That's why she builds where others quit. She can imagine what something could become if it's nurtured right. That's why she's a creator, a healer, a visionary by nature. Her mind don't live in the past, it learns from it. It lives in the future, it visualizes it. And that's how she reasons, not with fear, but with foresight. She makes decisions that protect her peace 10 moves ahead. She knows that energy spent in chaos can't grow anything stable. So she keeps her circle, her habits, and her goals aligned with her spirit. That's not luck. That's discipline, born from vision. She don't move impulsively, she moves intentionally. Every no, every pause, every silence got purpose behind it. People who only live on the surface won't get that. They'll say she changed. But really, she just started seeing clearly. She realized some things look good but feel wrong, and some things feel right even when they don't look easy. That's depth. That's discernment. She's not chasing shiny anymore. She's chasing solid. That's what makes her powerful. Her mind ain't fooled by the flash. Her heart ain't tricked by the noise. She sees through the performance, through the patterns, through the energy. You can't sell her fake peace. You can't distract her with drama. She can feel the truth vibrating under every illusion. That's her real vision, the one that comes from spirit, not sight. And that's what the world needs more of. People who can see past the obvious, who can recognize purpose in pain, light in darkness, real in a sea of artificial. Because when you start seeing beyond the surface, you stop reacting emotionally to every shift. You start trusting what's unseen, your intuition, your growth, your timing. You start walking with patience instead of pressure. That's what she embodies, that quiet understanding that not everything real can be seen and not everything seen is real. Her eyes see what hearts can't hide. Her mind moves past illusion into insight. And that's the kind of vision that don't just look, it perceives, it feels, it understands. It's the kind of vision that builds legacies, not images. The kind that sees life for what it is and still chooses to love, still chooses to grow, still chooses to rise.